According to the recent study by Indian Council of Medical Research, people living with diabetes in India, that number has gone up by 44% to 101 million in the last 4 years. Now, this major health concern burdens the entire world, including India. Now, lifestyle modification, eating right, exercising every day probably can help you to a certain extent. But with technological advancement and a tool specially called the continuous glucose monitoring CGM that helps monitor your glucose levels, one can manage their diabetes much better. So join us today as we dive deep into the diabetes care landscape. And today we have Professor Partha S. Kar, the National Specialty Advisor for Diabetes at NHS England, who joins us to share his entire insights into diabetes care landscape, as well as gives us good insights into what CGM, that is continuous glucose monitoring, is all about. So Professor Partha, thank you for joining us today. Now, in many ways, we have seen a lot of advancement in technology. Now, that's made our life easier for sure, but how does that translate into better lifestyle management and healthcare?
First of all, thank you very much for the invite. I think the way I look at anything in health management, what you're trying to do is give people the power. So that's what self-management is about. What we get in a very clinical setting is a traditional model where you see a doctor and they tell you what to do. On the other hand, if you've got technology which makes your life more easier or more comfortable, you would have changed it. And I always use the analogy of how we have progressed, let's say, with our TVs, right? We don't now get up and change the TV channel. It's done for us sitting where we are. And I think that's what technology should bring. It's the basic mantra should be improving quality of life. You improve quality of life, you improve self-management, and that improves your health.
Absolutely. I was also wondering, as you said, right, giving the analogies of a TV, for example. Now, while there is an advancement even in healthcare technology, how much of the responsibility or the onus is actually on the person?
So it depends. I think it's easy to say sometimes the person should do better, but I think I always say as a clinician, you don't live the life of that person you are giving a judgment on.